Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 5th of May 2022, and slightly different background for you today. Thought I'd get out on the bike for the first time in ages and have a little ride out into the countryside. Luckily I've got this cycle path here, sort of bridleway cycle path right on top of where I live, so I can go one way and it takes me to one town, or this way down that way towards another one. So it's quite a handy trail and just nice to get out into nature really. And I took this shot of some bluebells. And honestly, is there anything more beautiful at this time of year than bluebells in dappled sunlight in some woods? They just kind of, when they catch the sunlight, they just seem to take on this iridescent glow, don't they? Really beautiful. Anyway, some good bit of news is, well, depending on your viewpoint I suppose, is apparently the government have got roughly 80% of their stockpile of big V's unused, and it's looking like they, along with the many billions that they cost, will be going to waste. So obviously not a great use of taxpayers' money, but it is good because that obviously means that many people up and down the country are refusing to partake in this thing anymore. So I'm just going to take that as a positive. Oh, one thing, when you're out in the countryside you get a few bugs, don't you? But yeah, I saw a couple of videos actually that Lee did, Lee from the Veritas Vincit channel, and he was talking along the same kind of lines that I was yesterday about the easing of restrictions, although he was taking a kind of a view, probably not as optimistic as me. He came out with a metaphor that it's like a boa constrictor with some prey, and all that the boa is doing right now is loosening its grip a little bit. The prey thinks it's got a chance to escape, but then the boa is going to kind of re-establish its grip with a better grip maybe, and continue. That could be one way of looking at it, and it could well be the right way of looking at it. Although me being the optimist, I would sort of compare it more to something along the lines of a siege being lifted. Let's say the siege of Leningrad, for instance. And if you don't know your history, basically what happened there was when the Germans invaded the Soviet Union, they went for Leningrad, but they didn't kind of take the city. They laid siege to it, and it lasted quite a long time, good sort of 2-3 years, something like that, and it was terrible. Many people died. When the Soviets finally kind of relieved the city and pushed the invading German armies back, the people in the city who had suffered so long for so many years and so badly, they must have thought, well, they probably couldn't quite believe it, and they probably thought, this is just going to be a temporary respite, isn't it? And sooner or later the Germans will launch some massive counterattack, and they'll be back, the siege will be back, and the horrendousness will be back. But of course that never happened, and sort of, well, you know your history, the Soviets went on to push the Germans right back out of the Soviet Union, and you know, the people didn't have to worry about any return of the horrendousness. And I'd like to make the comparison more along those lines really, that you know, we're all suffering from some kind of Stockholm syndrome or whatever you call it. We can't quite believe the siege is over, and it might not be, but I'm quite hopeful that it is. There's so many positive signs that it is. You know, I just don't think if the government or anyone else tried to impose any more nonsenses now, I think there would be courts, as I was saying yesterday, who would reject it. Lots of us, of course, would reject it. And I think there's more and more people waking up. And I've seen people saying, even under the comments here and in my Telegram groups, about how this time last year people were being called kind of conspiracy nutcases, but now people are starting to come round to our point of view. And I did see a thing in my Telegram group, actually, one of them, a message of hope that someone wrote. So I think I'm going to finish off by reading that out. So I'm going to go back to my living room and read that off the laptop and just finish it there. So yeah, back in the living room here now with a cup of coffee there, post cycle ride, and got the laptop here, and this thing I'm going to read out to you. There's a hashtag, certain hashtag on Twitter, and it's hashtag, can't really say the first word, but it's a company whose name starts with PF and then documents after that. So let's go. It's promising to see hashtag PF documents currently trending on Twitter. There are hundreds of thousands of tweets about it, and many people who have been asleep are shocked for the first time. Many are now cottoning onto the fact that there is only 12%, then you've got the E word or EF word, haven't you? That kind of means how good it is, basically. So 12% that for the first 7 days, and 0.84% thereafter post treatment. And that it wasn't tested on pregnant women. MSM will find it very hard to keep a lid on Pandora's box. And that's it, you know. I think that message there, the person who wrote it is 100% bang on. And, you know, it's good to see that a thing like that is trending, and that more and more people are waking up to the fact that this cursed thing isn't all it's cracked up to be. So just a little message of hope there to finish on. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.